Hi, I'm Cori Serrano. Grew up in the church. I grew up in a Pentecostal church. My grandfather was a preacher. Um, and I was always very involved in missionettes and everything that the church did on the weekends. And we grew up there. We were there almost every night, you know. My parents put a lot of emphasis on the church more than school and things like that. So everything was about witnessing to others. And um, I was raised in a great home. I was raised in a very loving family. Um, and I think that as a lot of people who were raised around any religion, as you start to grow up, you start to wonder why it is you believe what you believe. I wondered if I just believed those things because I was told to believe them, or if I believed it because in my heart I really did. So I started to second guess God in a lot of ways in my life. And in doing that, I rebelled against my family a lot and found myself in a lot of trouble when I was a teenager. Found myself in preteen, but found myself in a whole lot of trouble. Um, but mostly what really turned my I had accepted Christ when I was a child, you know, and with childlike faith had asked Jesus to come into my heart, and I did receive him then. Um, but again, I just really turned away from that as I started to get a little older and thought I was being more mature in my thinking. Wanted to just get away from what my parents said and find out, you know, more about the world and what was out there, and was very curious about that. And again, when I was away from that protection of God and from my family, I was going somewhere I wasn't supposed to be going, and I was attacked. Um, a man that was a serial rapist who had been in prison several times for rape had attacked me and beat me really bad. I was with him for a lot of hours, and I did cry out to God during that time for help. And at the time, I didn't think that God heard me. But now that I look back at it, I see that I was saved. It was a very dangerous situation that I was in, and I was very, very lucky to be, if you want to call it luck, I was very lucky to be alive after that. And, you know, for the most part, really unharmed compared to some other things that had happened to other people. But because of the fear that that put in me, and I think that that's one way that the enemy will choose to come in and wreck your life is through fear. And because of the fear that that put in me, and because of what it did to my self-esteem, I started to spiral downhill after that. And I just did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. I ended up having 2 abortions because I just was in the wrong places, doing the wrong things. I started shooting up heroin by the time I was 12. Um, I was addicted to cocaine. I did a lot of different things that I shouldn't have done. And through the drug use, when you're living in a world full of evil, and that's what that is. It's just a world full of evil. Um, the consequences fall on you, and you start to become less and less until eventually the drug takes you over and you become nothing. And that's what I felt like I was, nothing. I felt like I was addicted to everything. Everything. I was addicted to anything that could keep me from feeling like myself, anything that could keep me from understanding that I was there in my own skin. And I was taken over by loneliness, and I was taken over by fear, and I was in a constant state of panic of being by myself. And, you know, no husband can live through that. No husband can be responsible for your emptiness, and no relationship can. And so your children can't even do that. Nothing in this world can fill up emptiness whenever it's deep. It runs so deep, and there's, you know, nothing that can make you feel like you're not alone. Jeremiah 29:11 is one of my favorite scriptures. It says, God said, I know the plans that I have for you, and they're plans of good, not evil, and they're plans to give you hope and a future. And, you know, all this time that I couldn't get away from my own self, God was waiting to show me a plan that He had for me. And every day now that I'm in His Word and He reveals that to me, um, I'm able to see more and more of what God wants me to be and who He created me to be.